That's my hand, waving to my friend Frank, who is in line at the cruise terminal and ready to check in to board the Crown Princess cruise ship. We did plan to go on this cruise together, so you might be wondering why I'm not in line with him. Well, I'm about to tell you. About an hour and a half before this moment, Frank cut his hand pretty badly when he slipped and fell through a louvered window in his apartment. Fortunately, he caught his fall, but not before shattering 7 or 8 of the glass panels and slicing the top of his hand open.
So Frank, you're saying this happened about what, an hour ago?
Yeah,
So you fell through the louvered window.
I slipped
Okay, all right. Does it hurt?
a little bit.
You got bad laryngitis too. You know what a time to be going on a cruise. We're definitely not going to cancel the cruise.
No,
Yeah. Okay. I hope you don't need stitches.
no.
Yeah. Well, I
The skin is just peeled.
yeah, but I see blood coming through underneath already. So as soon as we get on board the ship, I suggest you try to get into seeing the medic ASAP. All right,
Yeah,
and then we can play it by ear. Yeah, because Jesus, what a thing to happen right before we're supposed to depart for San Pedro. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back home and I'll wait for you and Rick to pick me up in about half an hour.
okay.
All right.
Before long, we were on our way and headed straight down Ocean Boulevard over the Long Beach International Gateway Bridge and Vincent Thomas Bridge to the World Cruise Center in San Pedro, only a 10 to 15 minute drive. Frank's friend Rick was kind enough to drop us off. At the terminal, Frank realized with his injury, he wasn't able to handle all of his luggage, and it was a bit of a challenge for me to move his large suitcase and my 2 pieces along, keeping up with the line we were in until it was our turn to give our luggage to the handlers. I felt rushed and distracted. Within seconds, I realized I forgot to grab my passport out of the front pocket of my suitcase, and it was too late. Our luggage was gone and being loaded onto the ship. These luggage porters are quick, and boy do they hustle. Lesson learned: always keep your passport and other important documents on your person when boarding a cruise ship. A cruise terminal manager told me that my large suitcase would be taken off the ship and returned to me so I could grab my passport in order to check in. But the ship would be making its scheduled departure at 4 p.m., no matter what. My primary thought: I might be left behind. At 2:50 p.m., over an hour and a half later, with no suitcase in sight, the manager approached me, accompanied by an officer from the ship. After confirming that I was a U.S. citizen and telling them I was 100% sure my passport was in the pocket, they allowed me to check in and board the ship without it, with the promise that once I retrieved my luggage, I would take my passport up to guest services. wonder if Frank is in the cabin. He's been on the ship for nearly 2 hours already. Well, I can tell he's been here. There's his small suitcase, his jacket, and his toiletries. The bathroom's big enough, so that'll do. I'm going to take the corner bed, just like last time. Frank must be seeing the doctor. A balcony is always nice. Being prone to motion sickness, it's helpful to open the doors. Breathe in the ocean air and look out to the horizon. Our stateroom was considered a mini suite with 2 flat screens and a hotel-sized refrigerator. In my opinion, the room is perfect for 1 or 2 people, but crowded with 3 or more. And there's also a small safe to keep your valuables in. Hour 2 in this voyage, and the water's real choppy. The boat is a rockin'. Frank, if I were you, I'd take your seasickness pills. I think I'm going to put the patches on, or the patch behind my ear. Give me your phone. I'll make sure you're connected to the Wi-Fi. What'd you get yourself? Oh, they'll come and pick it up. Oh, good. You got an egg.
No.
What's that right
I
there?
like more coffee.
What's
How do you
that?
get more coffee?
What's that right there?
Sausage.
Corned beef?
Corned beef.
It's corn. Coffee is behind you all the way.
Oh, I can't go get it. I need somebody to get it for me.
Okay. Well, there'll be someone here to ask. The pools were filled to the brim and water sloshing about during rough seas. At the Calypso Reefing Pool, the second of 4 pools on the ship, you will find their movies under the stars. I didn't spend any time out here. The movies playing were those I had already seen or movies I was just not interested in. There were plenty of deckside tables and chairs conveniently close to the Horizon Court buffet when you opted to dine outside. And speaking of dining, we ended up eating most of our meals at the Horizon Court. It was best to either be among the first in the buffet line or just wait at our table until the crowd thinned out a bit before grabbing our plates. The menu changed throughout the week and offered a variety of options, and in my opinion, some dishes were tastier than others, depending on the day of the week. I was surprised that during this era of COVID, the buffet was self-service, although there were automatic touchless hand sanitizer stations at both entrances. I used them every time I entered and returned, and noticed many passengers doing the same, and would also hear staff encouraging people to use them as they entered. As always, I returned to the buffet for the desserts, often a second or third time.
This is the Wheelhouse Bar. Little lounge areas. It's decorated nicely.
During our time on the ship, Frank and I took in a couple shows at the Princess Theater, a stand-up comedy show, and a performance by musician John Bressler. I tried my luck at the slots, but after my $30 was gone and the game over with in less than a minute, I thought, okay, that's enough, and didn't spend any more money there. And I was busted for videotaping. Whoops.
Oh. Okay, this is day 3 on the way to Hawaii. What's your opinion so far of the fact that we're over the water for 5 days before we hit Hawaii?
We got a long time.
So what's your impression so far? This is the 3rd day. Have you become bored now? Kind of borderline bored?
Not really, not at all. It's the food that's boring me.
Well, maybe tonight's dinner here at the Horizon Buffet will change your mind about that.
Yeah, I hope so.
During the 5-day voyage to Hawaii, Frank and I settled into somewhat of a routine, exploring the ship, having our scheduled meal times, enjoying our daily afternoon cocktail hour, and just spent time relaxing.
It's sunny but breezy. You okay with the breeze? Well, at least it's a warm breeze, you know.
The Port of Honolulu is located in the heart of Honolulu's downtown district. The cityscape views were lovely, combined with the harbor and Haloa Tower on this balmy Saturday morning.
Everyone's taking photos from this view.
Completed in 1926 and standing at 184 feet tall, Aloha Tower was the tallest building on the island of Oahu for 4 decades, offering spectacular views of the harbor with its top floor housing an observatory and lookout station for harbor pilots. Its lighthouse became a guiding beacon for ships and could be seen from 15 miles at sea. The tower was also a welcoming beacon for visitors when travel to Oahu was done entirely by sea, the aloha etched on its walls greeting thousands of ship passengers entering Honolulu Harbor.
This ship looks so enormous, doesn't it, Frank?
Yeah.
We finally hit land. Our first port of call, Honolulu.
Where are they taking the buses to?
They're different excursions. Oh, Waikiki Beach. So we could have done that.
We didn't have any excursions planned in Honolulu, and so we decided to walk to the beach.
I don't know if this was such a good idea, trying to get to Waikiki Beach. I think it's, what, 3 miles? Seems like we've been walking longer than that. But I know the beach is this way on our walk. Trying to find Waikiki Beach, we came across this nice, attractive canal. A real nice walking path.
The Alawai Canal is an artificial waterway in Honolulu, which serves as the northern boundary of the tourist district of Waikiki. It was created in 1928 to drain the rice paddies and swamps, which would eventually become Waikiki.
Have you had enough, Frank, or do you think we can make it? It's probably about a 10-minute walk. Think we can make it? We've gone this far, we should try, don't you think?
Yeah.
You want to rest some more, or should we move it?
I guess we'll move.
You all right? Okay. Before we know it, we'll see water.
Well, after nearly a 4-mile walk, we finally made it from the Pier 11 cruise terminal to Waikiki Beach at the Sheraton Hotel. In hindsight, we should have taken a taxi. And I think I enjoyed the walk a little more than Frank did. But hey, we definitely got our steps in for that day.
Now, cool, you heard about this.
That right there, where the peak is.
Diamond Head is referred to as a volcanic tuff cone, basically volcanic ash that weathered into rock and is known to Hawaiians as Leahi. The Hawaiian name is most likely derived from lei, meaning high point, and ahi, which means tuna, because the shape of the ridgeline resembles the shape of a tuna's dorsal fin. The crater was created by only one volcanic eruption below sea level, which likely occurred 150,000 to 200,000 years ago. It has remained dormant ever since. Needless to say, we took a taxi from the Sheraton Waikiki back to the ship. Somehow, looking at the scenery of the lush, native Hawaiian plants on the way back was more enjoyable from the comfort of a back seat in a taxi cab. In Hilo, Hawaii, our second port of call, we were off the ship by 8 a.m. and soon on a tour bus for a 4-hour excursion that included Akaka Falls, the Pana'ewa Rainforest Gardens and Zoo, and the Mauna Macadamia nut farm. We had a 1-mile hike down a circular stepped pathway leading through a lush rainforest to the falls.
A lot of steps, Frank.
Come back up.
Well, we can handle it.
Yeah, The wide stuff. You gotta climb up again.
How you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah.
That's a banyan. Right there.
These are, what,
Banyan tree behind me?
are these banyan trees?
My cell phone's camera did not come close in capturing how enormous these plants were in their natural habitat in this tropical rainforest.
Look at the fern down there. It's like ginormous.
Wow.
I wonder if any wild animals live besides
There's
birds.
no animals.
I know, but you know, I'm
No
surprised.
snakes.
Probably snakes, huh? I would think. No fish or anything, huh?
Frogs,
You would think, right?
centipedes.
They've got to be down there. They're just hiding.
Huh? Black sand basically is made from lava. So when there's a lava flowing downhill, and when it meets the water, as the lava cools with the water, it pulverizes. It pulverizes the lava, and that makes up a.
Our next stop was the Pana'ewa Rainforest Zoo. This 12-acre zoo is the only naturally occurring tropical rainforest zoo in the U.S. The zoo has more than 80 animal species on display, and the grounds feature more than 40 different species of plants, flowers, and trees. We have palm trees in Southern California, but I've never seen anything like these before. Look how tall these are. I like the colorful red sections of the stalks.
It's gonna be pretty. Don't go and hide. Come over here. Maybe? Oh, here he is.
Let's go find the Bengal tiger. Isn't that what he said? I can think so. There's the Bengal tiger.
Yeah. Handsome.
Very.
Shade.
There's another tiger over there. So at least he has a friend, the Bengal tiger. He's not alone.
This crane is somewhat of a bully, picking at the little birds.
What is it? Oh, I see it now. Lima.
I know. Beautiful. The males are beautiful, aren't they? Doesn't seem to be afraid of humans.
Is that pineapple?
Now, why is our bus on the side of the road, engine off, and not moving? Well, after we left the Pana'ewa Zoo for the Mauna Macadamia nut farm, 5 miles away, we were cruising along just fine when suddenly I heard a pop sound coming from the bus's engine. And then, not long after that, the smell of burning engine oil. That's right, our tour bus broke down.
Well, this turned out to be a real adventure, huh, Frank? The bus breaking down, and now we gotta walk. Stay on their side. He said it's about a mile up to the Macadamian farm.
Our guide and driver told us if we chose to walk the rest of the way, the nut farm would only be 1 to 1.5 miles up the road.
I think doing this is better than waiting in the bus. You know, because they're gonna come and pick us up no matter what.
If we chose to wait, he really wasn't sure how long it would take for the backup bus to arrive to pick us up.
Like I said, if all these others seniors can do it, we can make the walk.
We later found out all the other buses were accounted for and out on tours, and the wait in that hot bus would have been just too long. Within 30 to 40 minutes, a small passenger transport van from the tour company showed up and shuttled small groups of us, driving back and forth from the road to the nut farm until we were all dropped off. And I'm sure he drove back to the broken down bus to pick up the few who stayed behind. In the gift store, we were given samples of macadamia nuts and ice cream, but almost everyone in our group seemed tired and frustrated since this leg of the excursion was cut short. And we were anxious and just waiting for another bus to pick us up and take us back to the ship before it was time to leave Hilo.
Aloha, okay. To all of you, mahalo so much for being patient there. Okay. Yeah, sorry about the breakdown.
To say the least, we were all relieved when after a little over an hour, our tour guide finally showed up with another bus to take us back to the ship.
Macadamia nuts are in origin from Australia, from Queensland, Australia. It was discovered by a gentleman named Ferdinand von Mueller. Mr. von Mueller was a botanist. He named the nut after a good friend of his who was Dr. John McAdam. Yeah. Yes. Macadamia nuts are harvested 3 to 4 times a year. Okay? The reason for that, when you look on the branches, okay, you saw these tassel-like on the branches. Or these tassel-like, they are called racemes. They're called racemes. From these tassels, that's what those will form. From the flower, that's what the clusters of nuts will form there. So harvest goes to 3 to 4 times a year there. Time of harvest, we wait till they fall to the ground. They have a sweeper type of machine that vacuums the nuts into windrows. We separate the nuts from the rubbish and debris. Nuts are transported to the factory.
There she is.
Okay, aloha. Did you take a picture?
Yeah.
In case you missed it, that was our broken down bus. If we had returned beyond the 5:30 p.m. curfew, there was little chance the ship would have left at 6 p.m. without us, since this was a cruise-sponsored shore excursion. 2 days later, we were pleasantly surprised to receive a notice indicating that because of the incident with the bus and the inconvenience of walking to the Macadamia nut shop, a 55% refund had been applied to our accounts. Now that was nice.
Afternoon sun in Hilo, Hawaii. Look at the rain clouds and then the sun bursting through.
Stay tuned for more adventures in part 2 when we explore the ocean floor on a submarine tour in Maui, board a riverboat at the Walua Marina in Kauai for a river cruise, and hike to the picturesque Fern Grotto. See you next time.